Hi guys, it's Daoni here, and we just come back to the house to the girls at the LGBTQ community in Hanoi, and especially what does it feel like to be LGBTQ in Hanoi? So here we go, let's do it.
Hi everyone, my name is Valerie Hammond. I am a part-time drag queen and a full-time insurance financial support. I am 24 years old, born in 1996, honey.
Hi. My name is Jade Thorne. I'm from South Africa. I'm 25.
How long have you been in Hanoi?
1 year and 7 months.
Alright, my name's Allison. I'm from Australia. I'm an English teacher here in Hanoi, and I've been here for about a year.
Okay, and your age?
Oh, I'm 23.
52.
Chào em, chị tên là Linh, năm nay chị 28 tuổi. Hiện tại chị đang làm chuyên viên truyền thông của một công ty sách.
I'm Quang, I'm 23 this year. I'm a filmmaker based in Hanoi.
My name is Boo, and I'm 23 years old.
No, I'm kidding. You missed the joke. Never mind. I identify myself right now as a trans person.
I'm very gay, so.
Trong LGBT chị là bác sĩ trưởng, chị là người song tính.
Ở trong LGBT thì là chữ B, bái sủa.
Jade. I'm Jade. Well, okay, let's just say that how everyone else would say, I'm a lesbian.
And you, ma'am?
I identify as bisexual.
Because the identification is too complex, so I rather define myself as queer.
A lot of words, a lot of terms. One of them would be non-binary lesbian, queer.
Current dating situation, how do you feel about
I have no one, only my housemates that I like to fuck with, but that's about it.
Not single.
You're both happy?
Yes.
I guess, in your current situation?
Yeah, sure.
I am in a relationship, hopefully marriage.
I have a boyfriend. We've been dating for a year. He's currently in San Francisco, so we've been in a long-distance relationship. Well, polyamory to me is more about emotional attachment than it is about physical attraction. So while I am in an open relationship, my definition of an open relationship kind of allow me to explore physically with other people without feeling any guilt about it, because I separate the emotional connection part and the physical connection part.
LGBT people are known to be polyamorous a lot, right? So are you polyamorous, and what's your opinion about it?
Oh, polyamorous. Oh, wow.
What did you think she said?
What did you...
I thought you said it. I'm just saying it again just to make sure you heard, because I feel like you don't know what you said. Okay, so what I feel about polyamorous, I'll go first. I think it's a learning curve for anyone that has never experienced it. And I feel like a lot of people think that it's easy and they'll get into it, and then it's not that easy once they're in, because you like the idea of it more than the actual, physical thing about it. Like, and it goes fucking deep, like deeper than a normal relationship actually, because there's 3 people or even more. Who knows? Yeah. So it's quite complicated if it's something that you want to get into, but I think that it is possible if you're able to extend that love to very free. Yeah, I think I could be confident in having a casual relationship.
Alright, I'm not in a polyamorous relationship. I fully support them.
Not a lot of queer friends in my circle are poly, but I am, because
That's super cool.
I believe that
You have different soulmates?
to me, polyamory is it's like kind of like a philosophy that I have. Like I believe that I can have feelings for multiple people.
I don't think that LGBT is people, the majority of them are polyamorous, right? Polyamorous. Even in straight people, like they do have some kind of relationship, some polyamorous relationship too. Yeah. And for me, for sure. Yeah. And for me, I mean, I personally do not in a polyamorous relationship. So you're not polyamorous? Yes. But if anyone polyamorous, I respect their choice. Yeah. Because that they didn't do any harm to the society. Instead of cheating, right?
Okay, so first I came out as gay in 2013. I realized I was gay because a year before that I didn't realize that I was in a relationship with a guy from my class, right?
How can you not know you?
I didn't know what gay was back then. And then it was, and I knew I was gay even more so when, now thinking back, it's funny, but at that point it was miserable. When I realized when I had a crush on a straight guy for 2 years plus.
5th grade, I was looking. I thought I had crushes on boys back then, but like I would always go in the hallway and like stare at really pretty girls, and I kind of had a crush on my homeroom teacher's daughter at the time. Looking back, then I realized that I was into the girl and not just wanting to be a friend.
Maybe since I at 7th grade, about 13, 14 years old, then I realized that I have feeling for people same sex or same gender. Same gender. So I think that that's the time when I discovered myself as not straight. And my face. So when I finished my high school, I have a girlfriend, and my mom find out about it. She kind of make a first, and I mean, a little bit crying, and she keep asking me. But then when I wait a second, are you pansexual? You know what pansexual means? Yes. I know pansexual means you can like you can love anyone, even trans, even anyone. So are you pansexual? Even a pan, even a pan. That's a pun, you know. Pansexual, you know a pan. You to cook to flip. Oh, okay. So and it's a joke. I know that's word. But as I said before, because the identity is complicated, so I find myself as not straight.
Even when I was by myself, I always like wanted to be with a girl. And I was in grade 1. I had my first girlfriend. It was super cute though. We kissed like that once. So where did I go? I spiraled down to being completely gay, like cutting my hair short. You know, that whole stereotype of lesbian or whatever. I was not a woman, they were not a woman. Let's just be like, okay, I was not a woman, they were not a woman. My first encounter, I was about 14 years old, and it was with my first girlfriend. Her mom hated me, hated my guts. Like, she wanted to kill me, dude. And then eventually I got to a stage in my life where I broke up with my last girlfriend. I felt really heartbroken. It was my first love. Yeah, love.
I actually struggled with my sexuality a little bit growing up. So I grew up in a family that was very open about sexuality. I had a gay uncle, so it was always, I knew what being gay was from the start. So it was never like, I was never faced with any homophobic, and I knew if I ever told my parents, they wouldn't care. But what I struggled with the most was deciding what gender I liked. I had this idea in my head I had to choose one. Even though like I knew what being bisexual meant, I knew it from the get-go, but I don't know, I just thought it couldn't be what I was. Like it wasn't an option for me for some reason. I thought my only option was to be gay or to be straight. So it wasn't until, so I struggled with that a lot. For a long time I thought I was a lesbian and I only liked women, but that was mainly because I went to an all-girls school, so I was kind of just surrounded by women. So it's a bit hard to think, oh yeah, men when they're not there. And it wasn't actually until I was like around 16, 15, I don't know, I got my first boyfriend, and it was through dating him that I realized, oh, I can like both genders at the same time. It was something just clicked in my head, and I was like, oh, I can like both. And yeah, it was pretty easy coming out. Like my friends were really open, so there was no struggle there. Alright, things are sorted now.
I'm good. I'm good to go. Choose.
Yeah.
So when I was around 3 or 4 years old, I remember distinctively there was an episode of Mr. Bean being broadcasted, and in that episode he got locked out of the hotel. He didn't have any clothes to put on, so he put on a carton box. For 3 years old, it was fucking hot. Like, Mr. fucking Bean.
Một phần là profile của mình nữa. Đó là khi có thể là mình giới thiệu với ví dụ như là em đi gặp đối tác đúng không? Thì em chưa chắc em đã phải giới thiệu rằng là gia đình tôi là cái gì, bố mẹ tôi làm gì, ông bà tôi làm gì đúng không? Thì giới tính của chị như thế. Có thể là mình đi giao thiệp ở ngoài, họ không biết giới tính của mình. Đó là một cái nó được hiển nhiên trong cuộc sống ấy. Như là một cái như là mình tả bản thân mình.
To me, gender is duality, right? It's very distinct, right? But because I am non-binary, so to me
Like
that
before you were trans.
Yeah, I mean, even though I'm trans now, but I'm still not married. Like there are still days where
You feel non-binary.
no. There's still like most of the time, but like there are days that like I want to be a man today. Like you know what I mean? Like to me, gender obviously is a duality. Because of the fact that me being non-binary, I think because of that, I don't really have much of an opinion to say about gender.
I don't think gender is important to me. I see more deep down more than personality.
I would ever date a non-binary person or trans person because I don't know, haven't met them.
Oh,
I think
you
if
think
it's
they're
right-
attractive though.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course they are. For me, I feel like I'm that person that doesn't identify as a boy or girl. It's gender it's however you feel.
Yeah.
However you feel.
It's your own label.
It's your own label. You can enjoy however. If you want to be a fucking cat, be a cat, man.
Gender to me is social construct, really. Because whatever attribution you have that goes with vagina or penis are just things that people attach to and kind of like teach you to behave in a certain way that conforms to the heteronormativity standard. All the bullshit. So I enjoy mixing it up and allowing myself to explore both ends of the spectrum.
Gender to me is a social construct, and it is part of my identity, and it is not at the same time. People were born naked, and the rest is drag.
Nhưng mà chị trước đấy ấy, thì thường là chị sẽ ghét tất cả những cái người là người dị tính, là những người con trai dị tính hợp giới, thì nó không có vấn đề gì. Đến khoảng năm chị học năm 3 đại học thì bắt đầu mình mới công khai mình ghét những người phụ nữ. Và thời điểm đấy thì những cái phong trào về LGBT nó đã khá là phát triển Hà Nội rồi, đấy là thời cực thịnh của những phong trào về LGBT tại Hà Nội. Thế nên là việc mà mình ra ngoài mình hẹn hò các thứ thì nó không có gì vấn đề gì cả.
Early 2018, that's when I was really on Grindr. Think that to be gay, to me, from my perspective, I very much point that out there. This is my opinion. I think that their version of gay is not having long hair and wear lipstick, right? Like, if you're gay, you can be gay, but you can't be like having long hair, wear lipstick. You know what I mean?
Dating in Hanoi is weird to begin with, whether you're straight or gay.
How come?
It's so in terms of like just I'm talking about my experience with the like expat community of just like Westerners or foreigners living in Hanoi. It's quite small and quite close.
Yeah.
So you have your groups and they all interconnect in some way. Like basically it's a big incest family. It's the way you can say it. Like we're all real close. And
We have group, we have dating app, we have event for about the community, about LGBT. Yeah, there's some organization, there's some clubs.
so dating here is a bit weird.
Well, you can still get out of that. I mean, get out and to the world.
You can.
It's tough.
It's just harder
It's
here.
tough. Like you're gonna meet people on Tinder,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh, what are your intentions? It's like the same conversation every single time. I believe that in Hanoi, the way that you meet people, you gotta be going out and drinking. It's that.
Yeah,
it's that,
you gotta drink.
It's that experience.
Yeah, well, everywhere, not just in Hanoi.
No,
yeah,
I
definitely
mean-
not just Hanoi,
No.
but I've found personally that it's more focused on drinking. Like if you're gonna meet someone, it's gonna be through drinking, like at a bar or something, or an event. It's mainly drinking.
And always be prepared to be ghosted because that will happen.
Yeah.
Interesting, because I didn't really start dating around until my boyfriend back when I was in university kind of used Grindr behind my back, and I dumped him because of that. When I found out, he not just used Grindr, he meet up with people and they probably had sex and they did have video call showing dicks and all. But I made a documentary about gay dating out to kind of find out what it's like, what the scene is like, because as a young queer man, that was the only way I could connect to people like me. It was in 2015, 5 years ago, so things are different now, I guess. So now, like, my relationship to dating is kind of different compared to when I first started messing with people. For me, I use Grindr primarily to look for a hookup buddy. I got bullied in primary school and secondary school, getting called names. I couldn't really defend myself because... No! They just knew. Like, typical gay boy looking more femme than usual and softer than most of the kids. So they call... Yeah, I mean, they call me Bede, but then again, I'm like, I kind of am Bede, so I can't really defend myself or refute that, because I know that they were right, but it was meant to use as a result, so I didn't enjoy that. But then high school came, and I was popular in high school. Things took a different turn. I wasn't really out, but then I had my first boyfriend when I was in grade 12, so it was fun and all, and then I kind of came out to the society when I went to university and moved away from home. With my friends, I had different groups whom I interact with in different ways. So I think like different parts of me fit in with each group, so I don't really feel alienated. But at the same time, I enjoy spending time on my own or like hanging out with a certain group of friends and being a certain part of me. I think the question is about being gay in those groups, so me being comfortable with myself, I would add on tons of accessories, looking super cute and all. And none of my friends had issue with that, because if they do, they need a lesson in fashion. Or I need to change friends.
And I find more easily to talk with my mother. And I tell her that I like both men and women to her, come out to her. And she accepted quite easier. And she says that as long as I am happy, then everything is okay.
7th grade, because she found out about like a love letter I wrote for this girl from Germany at the time. You were there.
Were you guys together?
No, I was just
Writing her letter. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. But then I didn't give it to her. I just threw it away in the trash in my room.
Then your mom.
But then my mom picked it up. Yes. And then that night I went home from school and she confronted me about it, and it was pretty emotional and it was very intense, because my mom at the time, to be honest, was very homophobic. So I decided to come out, and I told her that I was different from other people. Yeah. And then she got it. She understood, and then she told me like she has known that since I was in 7th grade, and that she had already come to terms with it, and she loves me nevertheless. Because in Vietnam, it's not as open.
So did you feel unfit with the tradition, with the people's thoughts, your
Totally.
your parents' beliefs, or whatever? Or was it hard though?
I mean, I don't really care about fitting in anymore, to be honest, because I feel like I realized that fitting in, what it means for me is just to be comfortable with myself.
Ví dụ nhá, với bạn bè thì chị rất là thoải mái. Bởi vì bản thân chị đã coi cái việc mình là song tính, nó là một cái rất là bình thường, nó là một cái gì đấy là giống như việc là tôi thích ăn hoa quả thì tôi cũng không có thích nói với bạn tôi thích ăn hoa quả gì, thì với chị nó là rất bình thường. Nên là chẳng hạn như nếu bạn chị thắc mắc thì chị sẽ trả lời với một tâm thế rất là cởi mở. Nếu mà họ lịch sự nhá, kể cả họ không lịch sự thì mình cũng sẽ lịch sự lại với họ, nhưng mà sẽ là lần cuối nói chuyện, ví dụ thế. Còn đối với cả đồng nghiệp thì chị cũng không giấu giếm việc đấy. Tức là đối với chị thì việc đến những mối quan hệ bên ngoài thì chị không khoe khoang về cái tính của mình, và chị cũng không giấu giếm nó, bởi vì chị cảm thấy rằng nó không phải là một cái yếu tố để người ta có thể đánh giá mình, mà là người ta có thể đánh giá mình trong công việc hay trong các mối quan hệ. Còn đối với gia đình thì ra gia đình chị là một gia đình khá là truyền thống và khá là bảo thủ, rất là bảo thủ.
Thế thì chị có không bao
giờ chị biết những người đấy ở bên ngoài xã hội, biết cái mối quan hệ của chị bên ngoài xã hội, nhưng mà ba mẹ thì theo kiểu là bố mẹ không kỳ thị ông, nhưng mà hiểu không?
Nhưng mà kiểu judge
đấy, tức là ở ngoài thì được, cái con mình thì không được. Thế nên là thường là chị sẽ không nói về vấn đề về ba mẹ.
Nghĩa là chị chưa come out với bố mẹ.
Nếu mà một cách kiểu chính thức ấy là chị chưa come out với ba mẹ.
I think I kind of fit because, you know, Vietnam is quite an open country, and people nowadays, you know, exposed to the this word, so it doesn't matter much. I think I fit in. I mean, I didn't even need to come out to my friends.
How do you fit here as an LGBT then?
How do I fit here? I'm a teacher. I'm going to be with my housemates. I'll be going out drinking here and there. I'll always make sure
You
that
find your people.
You find your people eventually. I feel like I just kind of go with whatever happens. I don't have to be all out there, you know. People know and they know. Like, people that know me, they know that I'm like gay. Especially the people that I work with. They know I'm fucking gay. Like, it's not that hard. I never hide who I am, but I'm also not like a fucking, you know,
Flashlight.
Easier because I fit in with both sides, I guess you can say, and I don't like, there isn't a need for me to present myself as bisexual either. I don't especially need everyone to know that label for myself. It's a big part of my identity.
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't experienced any discrimination or anything here in Hanoi, and I've met some really lovely people that accept me for who I am. So.
And so I feel like if they kick me out of the house, I can still survive. So that was when I told my mom that, look, this is not going away. It's not a phase. You need to educate yourself. So here's the research on gay rights in Vietnam. And I gave her like tons of books to read on Mother's Day. For me, not for her. But yeah, and then I made those queer documentary about gay culture and I showed it to my mom and she cried again. But I've been hard-headed, I guess, and my mom is a little bit hard-headed too, so I think that's where I got it from. And it's been a process, and she's getting closer to the point of acceptance. My father and my sister knows, and they don't really care, or they don't fully understand about it to make the right political comments about being gay. Like my dad said, it's not my fault, it's my genes, but as long as I'm happy, it's good. When I had a full-time job, I call my boss daddy every time I see him. He's cute and he fits physically as a daddy, and I'm not the only one. The other gay in the company started it. So I kind of joined it like, hey, daddy, every time he came over. And like as a yearly review, he kind of had to tell me that at another company, this would count as sexual harassment. So please stop calling me daddy. It was funny. And I work as a freelancer, so people in creative industry are a lot more liberal in a way when it comes to LGBTQ issue. You can say so. Maybe because you're also in the community, so you think that it's trendy. But I think we are gaining visibility. Yes, we are getting more portrayal. Yes. I do think there will still need to be a change in attitudes. But for the most part, I think we're quite progressive when it comes to gay matter.
Đúng rồi, bị bắt buộc.
Có.
Hoặc là đi khám, đi để chữa.
Đúng rồi. Ví dụ như là cái người
ở Pháp
cái người
đang gì nhỉ? Đang họ đang vote là để cấm cái đấy. Cấm kiểu đi khám kiểu cái loại bác sĩ kiểu chữa LGBT,
kiểu hormone đó.
Tại vì người ta coi đấy là không công bằng.
Như ở Việt Nam nhá, thì theo tình hình chung chị biết thì là bây giờ vẫn rất nhiều gia đình người ta đưa con đi khám. Khám nhiều nhất là về phần hormone, xem trong cơ thể có phải là hormone nam hoặc hormone nữ quá nhiều nên là cái người đấy họ mới như vậy không?
What do you think about conversion therapy? Excuse me? Conversion, you know what conversion therapy means? Okay, anyway, conversion therapy nghĩa là kiểu những người mà kiểu bị bắt buộc đi khám để chữa LGBT hay là đi làm lễ ở chùa. Okay. Thì how do you, have you been in that situation? No. Okay, what do you think about that?
Well, you know, I think that it's kind of evil, kind of non-scientist, and like
Stupid,
it doesn't make sense. Yeah, stupid.
I personally haven't faced it. I obviously disagree with it. Doesn't work.
What is conversion therapy?
It's usually associated with the church, so it's where you try
Like they trying to cure you from your sexual. Have you seen But I'm a Cheerleader?
I love that movie.
Yeah, But I'm a Cheerleader. See, that's conversion therapy.
Bro, I will fucking look at you like you are fucked in the head, bro. I'll look
I know,
at you.
but for a lot of people, like it is like a trap. Like it's
Yeah, it's definitely a trap.
So I don't know if you had any experience of it, but like being homophobic because you think you're gay. So yeah,
it's tough. Yeah, I can understand.
It's I think it's basically torture in my opinion.
I know some fucking parents that literally will kick them out the house because they're different or because they are not the norm.
Conversion therapy serves the people who want the world to be straight rather than the people who are queer but wanting to change themselves.
I don't mind other people. Yeah, I mean, that's none of my business.
Our experience, I would say, we're in a bit of a Westerner bubble where we're not having as much experience with locals.
Yeah.
And the experience we have are quite like niche. So like it's not like for me it's not hard being bisexual here. I haven't encountered anyone that's denied my sexuality or anything like that. So it's not hard. But then it's not like I'm going around making out with girls in front of Vietnamese people. So
We could say that, like, you know, experiencing people from other countries, like we kind of have like that not hold back, but more like respect, you know, what's going on around us. Like if we're gonna meet in like a drinking environment, or if we're gonna meet eating, or if we're gonna meet over like something, I don't know, something, you know, dessert or whatever it is. So it all depends on like the kind of person that you are. I also believe that I've never been looked down at. My school has never looked down at me. They've never asked me about that.
Yeah.
I get the general question, are you married?
yeah.
No, I'm not married.
Is he my friend?
I'm not worried. Yeah, was your boyfriend? And I just immediately like I pull the disgust face. Like not for me. Even though I'm not disgusted, I just like to overreact, you know. So I feel like it all depends on the setting and it all depends on where you are.
In saying that, like, if I was seeing a girl, I wouldn't try and hide it.
Yeah.
I would never want to try and hide it.
Yeah,
to be honest,
me neither.
a lot of Vietnamese girls, they like to hold hands as friends.
Yeah,
and I find that
very
so
happy.
beautiful.
Yeah.
They really like close knit, which I dig. That's really cool. So, I mean, if I had a girlfriend, I would walk with her hand in hand, no problem.
Nếu cách đây khoảng 5 năm, tôi đặt câu hỏi cách đây 5 năm thì chị đang trong cái tình trạng là chị khá là muốn chứng minh bản thân mình rằng là ok, kiểu sẽ hét lên là ok tôi là người tôi là người song tính đấy. Và
như kiểu mình mới là người lớn thôi, mình muốn
đấy kiểu bảo tao là người lớn đấy, tao mới tốt nghiệp đại học đấy, kiểu thế. Hoặc là những cái cuộc tranh luận ở trên mạng ấy, có thể là em đã thấy là ngay trong cộng đồng LGBT cũng sẽ có những cái sự kỳ thị nhất định của cộng đồng dành cho những người bisexual, đúng không? Ở Việt Nam em chưa không biết là nước ngoài, chắc chắn ở Việt Nam là có.
Hoặc là có nhiều người trong LGBT họ cũng lờ bay ấy, họ bảo là
họ coi như
hoặc là mày straight, hoặc là mày
chỉ đang giả vờ mày cong thế thôi, kiểu thực chất là mày thẳng, nhưng mà chỉ đang muốn
chắc đấy là kiểu một community thôi mà nó cũng kiểu nói loạn cả lên với nhau ấy.
Thì trước đây thì chị sẽ tham gia tất cả những cuộc tranh luận đấy, chị sẽ kiểu nói từ tử tế cho đến chửi bới rồi các thứ. Nhưng mà sau này ấy, thì chẳng thể đến thời điểm hiện tại. Thứ nhất là về xã hội thì chị thực sự chị không quan tâm người ta nghĩ gì mình lắm.
I care when it comes to my rights.
Yeah, because my parents never really gave me the sex talk, so like I had to learn the hard way about it. And when I said I voluntarily,
That's normal though.
Yeah. I learned to accept it. I mean, obviously it came with traumatic experience and resentment. First time having sex thing, I did it the moment on my birthday at midnight, like the midnight of April 8th to the 9th, right? It is planned.
Okay.
Like in my head that morning, I still remember because like I was like, okay, I'm not having sex until I turn 18 because it is it is something that I should treasure. After the first time, I was like, okay, sex is not as special as people make it to be. Perfect, great.
Did it hurt for you?
Of course, it was with a black guy.
In regards to how I would parent my kids, I would take them to Switzerland.
So you're planning to like have kids?
No, I'm not planning.
Okay, so what's the point of
I'm
talking
talking about
that?
if I had kids.
Oh, okay.
My mind
What's Switzerland?
about having kids.
Like Switzerland, like what?
It's because there's a really good school there where they
isn't it?
they use toys with no gender.
Toys. Oh, okay. I don't know. Okay.
Dolls?
Did you go straight to vibrators?
Yeah, you're a dog. You can tell you're gay as fuck.
I am. I mean, I'm half gay, but anyway.
I'm half gay. In terms of my education and my parenting that I had, so yeah, like I said, I came from a very open family with like gay relatives, so it was never, like I knew I was going to be accepted from the start, so it was never a bother. And my education too, I was actually very lucky. Despite going to a Catholic school, they made a huge focus on accepting the gays. Accepting the gays.
The gays.
The gays. Fuck, who would admit to being like, no, I'm gonna raise my child homophobe?
Education and your parenting has affected your sexuality? I don't think that my parenting and my education have an impact on my sexuality. But rather than that, I think that the education helped me to open the world for me and realize that every have the equal right. Also, there are many LGBT people at my school, at my university, at my work too. So I feel that it's become a norm. I think that mostly I read it by myself. Yeah, because in school we do have sex education, but it mostly teach you how to not get pregnant, how to sex in a safe way, how to use a condom, thing like that.
Chị có được giáo dục hay là được dạy dỗ về LGBT không? Trong quá trình chị lớn lên?
Nếu mà là được, tức là mình bị động ấy, được tiếp thu ấy thì cũng có. Bởi vì chị thấy là cho đến thời điểm hiện tại nhá, không phải giai đoạn bọn chị đâu, cho đến thời điểm hiện tại, cái việc mà giáo dục kiến thức về LGBT thì gần như là không có trong nhà trường. Trong bất kỳ một nhà trường nào, từ là công lập cho đến quốc tế hay dân lập đều không có. Hay đây là
ở châu Âu cũng chưa có đâu đấy, là
nên chị nghĩ là tự tìm hiểu là chính.
Like, did it affect you mentally, and how did it affect you mentally?
Oh yeah, because the information doesn't affect me mentally, but the people distributing the information affects me mentally because there are people who are gatekeepers in the community. Like, for example, people who believe that transgender women aren't women. When people misgender me or
like discriminate you or something.
what?
Discriminate you or something?
Yeah, totally, of course. I have conflicting thoughts about it.
You know that in Vietnam it's not legalized to be married, right? Yeah, LGBTQ to get married, yeah. So what's your opinion about that? And is marriage important to you? Well, about the Vietnamese government, I think that they are quite open. I think they are, more if they were open, they would legalize it. More open than other Asian countries. Because we have to compare Vietnam with other Asian countries where they still, forbid same-sex marriage or even it become a crime, yeah? A crime, yeah. So I think that things need to be gradually, things need to change gradually. Yeah, little by little. Yeah, and because it's related to legal, so there are many issues that have to be solved. So I think that maybe when we have more like identify about same-sex marriage, and maybe in the future we'll have a law for it. And for me, marriage is not so important, but we can have legal terms similar to marriage, because if you are married, you can pay tax less. Your partner can inherit your fortune, like house and shit, yeah, and many things else. So I think that we should change, but change gradually so that the majority of society can easily accept.
I might adopt,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to adopt too. We adopt a cat, so that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good start. Yeah.
I think Allison's the adopting type.
Yeah,
I'm more of the I want the genetic from.
Yeah, but you don't want kids, so yeah.
it's more like it's gonna be a long ass video.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to edit this down.
No, I'm gonna cut the rambling, but yeah. As an LGBT, is marriage important to you?
No.
No. Is it legal? Well, it's legalized in Australia. Is it legalized yet? LGBTQ marriage in
Well, it depends on what your religion is.
South Africa?
If you're
No,
a
it's
Christian,
No, is it legalized yet in South Africa?
yeah, it's legal.
Australia was so slow.
Oh, wait, I think it's legal.
France was like 5 years
believe
ago.
God,
France was
Australia
fun.
was like 3.
I believe that it's legal. I don't know officially.
Oh, so
I
I'm
believe
guessing
in
you're
my
not planning
heart
on getting
it's
married.
legal. So
There has been gay marriage in South Africa.
I think, oh no, sorry, I shouldn't have said no. Sorry, my personal stance on marriage is that it's not necessary.
No.
But that's just, sorry, yeah, I realise now that makes me sound like I'm against gay marriage. I'm not against gay marriage, it's just me personally, like, my parents aren't married and they were never married.
Oh, okay.
And they're still together and stuff. So it's like, for me, marriage isn't necessary to have a family or anything like
So
that.
what would they do about the inheritance and all that?
Huh?
Inheritance.
Write a will, I guess.
Oh.
Inheritance. We'll figure it out. Yeah, I know, when they die, like.
But do they have like a contract that they're together or some shit? No, not a contract. Oh.
That's what marriage is.
Oh yeah. Okay, and you? Is marriage important to you?
Wait. But
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
want to say, like, obviously I support gay marriage, and if you want to get married, like, everyone.
You should be allowed to.
Yeah, you should be allowed.
Like all around the world.
Yeah.
That's what I think as well.
I believe it's a beautiful thing to share, and if you're lucky enough, you get to go through that experience. If you're not lucky enough, you don't get to go through that experience. So I feel like it's.
Oh, so
a
you like
bonus in
so
life.
it is important to you.
It's a bonus in life. I don't.
It's a contract.
I mean,
It's just a piece of paper. After
I guess
all.
it's a piece of paper, but also we all have like our dream weddings, right?
And our
In
vows.
heads. No flowers.
No, our vows.
Our vows.
Like
Dude,
promises
it's so
and that.
beautiful to share that moment with someone. I would like to get married. I changed my answer. I would love to get married.
At my last interview, that was before the convention, that interviewer actually had talked to a lawyer, and she asked about the marriage situation in Vietnam. Said, that lawyer said that, to be honest, I don't see that it's gonna be legalized anytime soon.
Yeah.
It is on the table, like they penciled it in, but it's not something urgent. You know what I mean? And have I thought about marriage? Of course. Like even now, like, I go around telling my boyfriend, "Oh, me and my husband. Obviously, we're not married." But like even I tell my boyfriend, "So when are you gonna propose?" Because
Do you do that?
obviously we're. I mean, I was joking. Obviously, we had talked seriously about marriage, and obviously I had to go to either Europe or America. That in itself cost like at least 20 grand, right? And not to mention, like, we had to throw 3 parties, right? One for the American friends, and obviously that's where he's from and where the paper can be done. One is for my parents, just for my parents, because you know how Vietnamese parents are, right? They want to throw a wedding with fucking MCs and like a wedding hall of like 1,000 people in which you know like 10, right? And 3 is for us. Realistic wise, at least that's 50 grand, right? And realistically, we don't have $50,000 right now, especially in this damn pandemic, right? I mean, honestly, if you're thinking about it spiritually, the dog that we have together is basically an engagement ring. Come on. No. Oh Jesus Christ.
A dog is enough.
A dog is enough.
Ở châu Á ấy, cái đám cưới nó giống như là một cái hình thức để thông báo tất cả mọi người là chúng tôi đã nên vợ nên chồng kết hôn với nhau, và cũng là một cái để gọi là tránh tiểu tam, đấy, tránh người thứ ba. Còn nếu mà theo hiến pháp là mọi người sinh ra đều có quyền được có hạnh phúc ấy, thì hiện tại luật pháp Việt Nam chưa làm rõ cái việc đấy đối với những người trong cộng đồng LGBT. Nhưng mà nếu mà mình cũng phải xét từ hai phía ấy, bởi vì là bản thân là những người làm luật ở Việt Nam ấy, để họ thực sự là họ hiểu, họ đưa ra được một cái bộ luật nó phù hợp với người LGBT thì lại là một quá trình khác khá là dài. Và nếu mà ở công việc là người LGBT thì chị nghĩ rằng là đối với những cái thay đổi của luật pháp Việt Nam hiện tại, nó đã là một bước tiến khá lớn rồi, và mình cũng nên kiên nhẫn một chút đối với cả những nhà làm luật.
Nghĩa là đối với chị là kiểu đám cưới nó cũng quan trọng.
Nó có quan trọng.
Do you want to get married in the future and have children? I'll say 50-50. So as an LGBT in Hanoi, do you feel comfortable while in public? Yeah, sure.
Chị khá thoải mái, chị không có vấn đề gì cả.
Oh yeah, we hold hands all the time. We don't do too much PDA though.
The thing is, we're not Vietnamese, so we have a different standard that is put towards us. So we are seen as like, okay, yes, this is 2 girls kissing, but they're foreigners. So that's kind of like, this is what foreigners do. There is that viewpoint from Vietnamese that foreigners are a bit more promiscuous.
It has to do with traditional Vietnamese values as well, because like public displays of affection is not as comfortable as in other countries. So it has to do
Or friendship,
coupled, but coupled with queer love, and it's just like double the fear.
Thế ra cái việc kỳ thị chị nghĩ là xuất phát từ cả hai phía. Đó là bản thân mình không thể phủ nhận được rằng là ở Việt Nam ấy có rất nhiều người tự xưng là thuộc cộng đồng LGBT nhưng làm rất là lố từ ngoài xã hội. Ví dụ những người chuyển giới nam hoặc là những người đồng tính nữ mà họ có cái thể hiện giới nó nam tính một chút, thì không phải tất cả, nhưng có một số bộ phận khi đi đến nơi công cộng này thì thường là cố tỏ ra rằng tao rất nam tính, tao này tao thế kia, và họ gần như không quan tâm đến xung quanh. Quan điểm cá nhân của chị là khi mà chị gặp một cái trường kỳ thị đối với những người đấy ở một nơi công cộng thì mình phải xem là các bạn này đã làm gì để bị kỳ thị như vậy. Nếu mà chỉ ok chúng tôi ngồi im chúng tôi nói chuyện với nhau này, nhưng mà anh cứ ra kỳ thị tôi, ok mình sẽ là người ra mình lên tiếng. Có thể là không phải đánh nhau hay gì cả, nhưng ít nhất là để không ngăn cái việc đánh nhau hay là to tiếng để nó xảy ra nữa.
Cái bản thân chị đã bị kỳ thị chưa?
Bản thân chị chưa. Thực ra là chị đã từng gặp những người
kiểu bị đánh hay bị đuổi, bố mẹ đuổi ra khỏi nhà hay đủ nọ như thế.
Cái trường hợp bây giờ ở có thì gặp rất nhiều.
Đúng rồi.
Nếu mà làm trong NGO thì gặp rất là nhiều.
Trong LGBT gặp rất là nhiều nhá.
Thế nên là khi chị khuyên các bạn đi come out thì em thường khuyên là ít nhất là từ 18 tuổi để ok, nếu em không đuổi ra khỏi nhà thì em vẫn có thể đi xin việc làm để em nuôi sống bản thân mình, đúng không? Còn em dưới 18 tuổi em không phụ thuộc vào gia đình thì em làm được gì?
Nhưng mà em không biết ở Việt Nam nào, nhưng mà ở Pháp mà con mình mà dưới 18 tuổi làm sao mình đuổi nó ra khỏi nhà là phạm pháp luật mà.
Ở Việt Nam ấy là luật vua thua lại làm,
kiểu chẳng ai quan tâm đến.
Đúng không quan tâm đến đâu, bởi vì là ok chuyện nhà anh chị mà con anh chị sai anh chị xử lý. Hoặc quấy rối bằng tình dục ấy.
Nghĩa là sao?
Tức là chả chị đang ngồi nói chuyện với em này đúng không? Thì chị nói là ok, tao là bisexual đấy, rồi tao thực quen chị này chị kia, và em có thể nói lại với chị là chị đã quan hệ chưa chẳng hạn như vậy, đủ thân thiết để em hỏi tôi đúng không? Bây giờ là ok quan hệ rồi thì không chị có thể đi xa một chút, thì ngay về bàn bên cạnh có một nhóm thanh niên sẵn sàng quay ra hỏi chị là nếu em là bisexual, em là người song tính thì em có sẵn sàng chơi ba không?
Like homophobia, it has to do something with Western ideologies about gender, about homosexuality, and that is kind of like rooted in colonialism. That's called internalized homophobia, and
yeah, what's wrong with that?
I feel like it's a product of being in the society. I don't blame them, but at the same time, they should recognize that they are actors of perpetuating homophobia. Lucky that I haven't experienced homophobia in recent years, but when I was in middle high school, I was kind of taunted.
Like bullied?
I don't know if it's.
Would you call that bullying though?
If bullying means being a bit traumatized by it, if bullying means being traumatized by other people's behaviors, yes.
Mostly I do not face any homophobia. Just some of my friends in high school, when they found out that I have a girlfriend, they are like, oh no, please don't love me. I say, what, excuse me? I have my own privacy. No. You? No. Under my priority. And you too? No. But anyway. Excuse me? Oh, they make me like feel like they're so silent. I mean.
Oh yeah. From strangers all the time.
How you deal with that?
Especially when I'm in drag. Oh Jesus Christ. Or like not even in drag. Like one day I could be going out with my girlfriend's full face of makeup, right? With my hair done and everything. Back then, the last time we hang out, my hair was like to my back, so it was longer. So like I would be driving on the road, and literally a guy would be like, to my face, and be like, "You're a boy or a girl? I'm a fish."
So as an LGBT in Hanoi, what is your type of person? I mean, I don't have a solid type, but I prefer people that have a good personality. I mean, funny, a little bit funny. A little bit I'm funny. A little bit knowledgeable. You are funny. And okay, know how to deal with the problem. Yeah, someone that is mature.
Definitely, yeah.
My like I said, my boyfriend was nowhere near my type, but I fell for his personality. Like the moment I realized I was in love with him was like the way he passionately talked about things. To condense it into a word would be Latino guys, mama. The deep voice that gets me. Like anybody with a deep voice, oh mama.
Chị thấy là bây giờ hiện tại người Hà Nội có cái nhìn khá, những người sinh sống ở Hà Nội có cái nhìn khá là ok, khá thiện cảm với những người thuộc cộng đồng LGBT, trừ khi là có một sự việc rất lố xảy ra. Tức là khi mình mình sống với những người bình thường, mình không coi mình là một người đặc biệt hơn trong xã hội, cái gì cao trong xã hội,
và mình không hại ai cả.
Đúng, không hại ai thì tất cả mọi người đều nhìn thấy mắt bình thường rồi. Ok, mày làm việc của mày, tao làm việc của tao, mày không gây hại gì cho tao làm việc.
So Hanoi is the old quarter, the old capital. The capital of Vietnam for many years. So in general, people in the north is more reserved than people in the south. But I think that the young generation they be more open and more acceptable with LGBT. And the older one, the older generations, yeah, they're more traditional. Yeah, more traditional, and they have more prejudice and prejudice. Yeah, prejudice. And so I think that maybe we cannot change them, or we can change them little by little. But I think they will die soon. So. Hey, you're right. You are funny. Okay. So the point is Hanoi and Hanoians have changed over time. Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100% yes. I can see that, especially in drag, right?
They're more open-minded in Hanoi.
Yeah, when I first joined in December 2018, there were little to no Vietnamese at the show. But at the last show that we
You're
did,
basically the only one.
not in terms of audience, not like
No, sure, but for like performing, you were basically the only Vietnamese or whatever.
No, there are different Vietnamese performers, but audience-wise, it's like no Vietnamese, all expats, right? But at the last show that we did in July, like you can see a very...
The wet thing?
No, before that.
Oh, okay.
You can see a very distinctive...
Oh, is it Pride Fest?
No.
Oh.
It was Peach. No. People asked me to go, but I was like, nah, I have video games. Bye. It was hot.
It was pretty fun.
The important thing, it was hot. And I'm a fat ass, so I sweat a lot. But yeah. But you can, as I was saying, you can see a good amount of Vietnamese people at the show enjoying the performance.
It's not straight people's right to accept us. They have to accept us. They have to respect us because we are here and we don't need their acceptance.
Yeah.
They don't have anything to do with us. Like they don't have the right to determine if we get married or not. That's already our right, and we are just reclaiming it from them. Yeah.
Like nothing affects them either way.
Yeah.
If we can get married or not, it doesn't affect straight people.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think so. I don't find any specific challenge. So you feel like you're such a free person. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Như kiểu là nó rất là khó để mình có thể cảm thấy thoải mái là tìm chỗ để thoải mái. Có thể là với cái thế hệ của mình thì là đầu sinh ấy, mình sẽ rất open với các người, giống như các bạn trẻ khác có thể mặc kệ không để ý đến ánh mắt người khác, nhưng mình nói chung là mọi thứ nó thay đổi, mình cảm thấy thế.
The challenge here would mostly happen in rural areas. More conservative. I would say conservative. Is me is the sense of empowerment that I know that I don't subscribe to the gender binary, or I know that heteronormativity should be the norm and whatnot. So what I'm doing every day when it comes to like LGBTIQ activism and whatnot is because I want to change what's around me. It's like one of my life aims.
Definitely say that I am very privileged in terms of that I have a really good support system, right? I have friends who back me from day one, right? From the moment I came out, right? I've had...
Are those friends LGBTQ as well?
Nope. Straight. At work, I never really had to experience homophobia. So I can definitely say that I am very privileged in terms of that, so no. So my answer to that question is not difficult, but because it is based from my experience.
Nghĩ là có.
Ví dụ
Tại sao nó có, chẳng qua là có thể ở đến mức nào thôi.
nhưng mà động vật nó không bị kiểu cạnh tranh bởi pháp luật hay là kiểu bởi đủ nọ các thứ.
Nếu mà nó thích chủ nó ok cho chúng mày về một nhà với nhau luôn.
Kiểu tự do luôn.
Tự do.
I don't see why not.
Like dogs, cats.
They are already not homophobia. There are already homosexual relationships amongst other species in animal species.
Giraffes.
Penguins, lions, are the most common. Lions, penguins, Homophobia only comes from humans. Like only humans think of that concept, and only humans use the Bible as a reason to discriminate.
Only humans complicate it.
Pride. Do you go to Hanoi's Pride and do you participate, etc.?
Yes, I have go to Hanoi Pride 3 times, and I find that enjoyable. I really like it.
Do you meet interesting people?
Yeah, I have a group of friends. We do not meet. Frequently because we are different age, we different work. We come from different backgrounds, but we mix in Pride and we enjoy together. Yeah,
That's fine. Are you planning to go to Pride this September? I mean, if it happens.
yes.
For it or whatever.
I was performing for Hanoi Pride last year.
In September? Like the parade thing?
I wasn't at the parade because obviously I was lazy and it was hot. But I did the performance at night.
You're a really fun LGBTQ. I'm kidding.
That was an honor. Oh my god! Like one of the drag queens asked like, "Hey, does anyone want to perform for this huge show coming up?" And obviously, I like to dance. I like to perform naturally. So I was like, me. And then on the rehearsal day,
Ironically, you don't like crowds.
ironically, I do not like crowds. No, because well, that's a whole different thing. But and then on the rehearsal day, I asked them, "Who are we performing for?" "Oh, we're performing at the American Club for the Hanoi Pride." And I'm like,
American Club. Is it a bar?
do you went to the last Hanoi Pride?
No. But I
So
heard people that
annually is hosted at the American Club. It's called the American Club, but it's like more like open space restaurant kind of thing. It's owned by the embassy, and there's a restaurant there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, so I was like, whoa.
Are you planning to go on this September if it happens?
Hell fucking yes.
You're a member of Hanoi Pride, right? So can you talk a little bit about it?
Hanoi Pride is an annual Pride event that already has happened in the world, but it only started in Vietnam since 2012. And Hanoi was like the first city to organize a Pride event for Vietnam.
Oh yeah? It wasn't Ho Chi Minh?
No. It was a Sur city. So now there's like Viet Pride as well, which is like consisting of Pride events from the southern. But for Hanoi Pride, it's like kind of separated now, but like we're still unified. It's just that for Hanoi Pride, I guess it's more catered to people in the northern area, from rural areas, northern rural as well. So I think Hanoi Pride this year is going to be different, as in it's going to be virtual. So that means that there's no parade or march like before. But at the same time, it still needs to be present. It still needs to be organized, because the value of having a pride is very. It's intangible. It's intangible, and it means a lot to people who really need it.
It's meant to be like provocative.
Provocative.
In a good way though.
That means it's bold. It has to be bold. It has to be bolder than ever, because like people's mental health is deteriorating.
Or something.
Yeah, it's going down. So we need it more than ever, to be honest.
So the subject this year is where are you? So what's that about?
Oh yeah, where are you is the question, which is also the theme of Hanoi Pride this year. It means that in the midst of like the COVID situation, or in others, with other social issues happening, like for example, the movement for Black Lives, or Trump. Or just like a lot of social issues happening in Vietnam and the world. It's like people would say it's a lot of chaos. I think in saying where are you, it means that this is the time that we need the queer voices to really speak up. Because if we are not physically present for each other, then we we need to be mentally present for each other as well. This Hanoi Pride is made up of organizations that cater to LGBTQ activism. So like I can give you a list of all those.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna. Savage. Yeah, I know Savage.
Vài quán cà phê kiểu Tây, quán Tây ở Phương Thiên.
Nếu mà nói là những chỗ về LGBT thì chị không có.
Những chỗ mà thân thiện LGBT ấy, hay gì đó như thế.
Hiện thì chị
Mà chị là người mở cà phê mà, cho nên là chắc là hồi đấy cà phê của chị cũng sẽ thân thiện với người.
ok, nó làm quán cà phê thân thiện với LGBT nhưng mở ra với mục đích rằng là để đưa cộng đồng đến gần hơn với xã hội. Bên ngoài với trước đấy là chúng ta vẫn đang co cùng với nhau đúng không?
Dạ.
Mình vẫn đang cho rằng là ví dụ như chị, đây là ý kiến cá nhân nhá. Trước đấy ấy, thì mình vẫn đang làm một cái cộng đồng, mình co cùng lại với nhau và mình đến những chỗ có những người giống như mình, những chỗ mà người chủ cũng giống như mình, họ suy nghĩ giống như mình. Thành ra là tự nhiên tự bản thân mình tách ra khỏi xã hội chung.
I think every place is LGBTQI LGBT. Yeah, it's a good way to think. Yeah, I could think that way.
Beach, wet, love happy on. But like usually pet will be held.
Are those places?
It's not called. It doesn't. One of the main reasons why I would never have kids. Exhibit A. The event is called Peach, but it is hosted at Savage in Westlake. You can look it up at the location on Facebook. We held before Corona. We would have a show pretty much every month.
Yeah, I
Or
saw that.
2 or 3 shows every month. So yeah. So Peach would be at Savage, and Wet would normally be.
Savage is a famous like LGBTQ place in Hanoi. Yeah.
I don't know if it is. I know it's a famous bar, but I don't know if it's a famous LGBTQ place.
Oh, it is very frequented by LGBTQ people.
Because of drag queens?
Yeah, probably. Oh, Sense 8. Is that LGBT?
Có một bộ phim Pháp mới giải là Picture of
A lady on fire or something.
chính cái bộ phim Lesbian mà nếu mà nói về thời đại đấy thì một trong 2 nhân vật phải chết, nhưng mà ok đã qua bị chết.
Like usually one person dies. Like where?
Nó luôn có một cái câu là Hollywood kill lesbian.
I think there's a book, Call Me By Your Name. I like the film. Yeah. There's a book. The book is good. Oh yeah, but I haven't read the book, but I haven't watched the film. The film, so I found the film is really.
Yeah, it melted my heart.
Yeah.
It's so sad though.
It's like
So heartbreaking, but yeah.
it's like a poem.
Yeah.
And the Italian,
And the guys they're bi.
yeah,
And they're so
everything is perfect.
Thì có Csaga Việt Nam với cả viện iSee ở Hà Nội, trong Sài Gòn là ICS.
A surfer guy falling in love with. Well, he was straight, but he didn't realize that he was gay, and he fell in love with this artist guy.
Oh, then I don't know.
Safe Haven, no. I'll probably look up the name and I'll let you know later.
Okay.
But
So
that
what's
movie,
so special though?
it has a good ending, and like it has character development in that. It's not just like the first thing would be like bam bam, gay, and even though I said earlier just now that I hated movies with that ending, A Normal Heart with Mark Ruffalo who plays Hulk in Adventure, and one of the famously gay actors as well. I forgot his name.
Okay.
But like the movie talked about the early stages of the HIV pandemic, right? Like 1980s, and how it affected the gay community. And oh my god.
Is a library, online library that has a lot of queer, that has a lot of reports or research information about queer studies in Vietnam. There's a lot of organizations and companies like corporate world who are advocating for queer rights as well, and that's great. It's just that I just wish that when they use when they have campaigns that are queer focused, they should have more activities that help, that give back to the queer community, instead of just using it as like queer baiting people.
ai cũng sẽ biết rồi, đấy là cứ sống và làm việc và cống hiến đi thì cuộc đời sẽ công bằng với mình. Còn không ai không, cuộc đời vốn dĩ là không bất công gì cái. Chị cho là như thế.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Don't be afraid. Don't be shy of who you are. You are born with that, and then you should feel proud because you are born this way.
Oh, okay, cool, thanks.
Yeah.
Don't resist the faggotry. Also, don't hate LGBTQ people. Like,
Don't be homophobic.
don't be homophobic. Like, why?
There's no
Why?
point, yeah.
Why?
Like some
They're
straight
not
people
taking your money. They're not taking your damn money. Why you
some
hating?
straight people would go against like marriage for LGBTQ. Well, it has nothing to do with them.
It
I
affects.
don't understand.
It affects. If gay people can get married, then how are we supposed to breed child?
Oh God.
There is adoption.
First of all, and
there
first of all,
is-
it's not like the whole planet is going to be gay.
First of all, second of all, there's overpopulation.
Mhm.
Third of all, you can give birth to kids because you're not gay. So, honey, if you can love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love somebody else?
LGBTQ people say that a lot.
It's from RuPaul's Drag Race. It's a catchphrase. Bye!
See ya.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, follow me, and stay tuned to my channel. Follow me on our social media as well. Why did I decide to make this video? I'm actually bisexual. I came out around, I'm an out bi person and I'm actually proud of it. So thank you, please share this. I'm thinking about doing the same thing in Paris, video about LGBTQ in Paris. So stay tuned.